Hello everyone, Shadefyre here, and welcome back to Let's Play Control. This is episode 9. So I actually played a fair bit in between this episode and the last, pretty much just kind of wandering around the areas we've already been to kind of find out where the new areas we can currently access are. So I didn't pick up any documents or anything, I pretty much only picked up loot chests when I found them, which I think did get me a level 5 projectile mod for Shatter, so that's good. But I have a better idea of where we can go now, some of the new areas here in Research, as well as in the other divisions. So we'll check some of those out as we go here, but first we have to finish talking to the plants. I also found out where to go for Ahti's other side mission, the one that's confusing on the map, but we actually have to go back to where we first saw the Clog, and then there's another room off of that NSC converter room. Okay, oh, I think I went down too far. I need to go back to Central Research. Okay. Another plant here. Oop.
Do you have a family? I have a brother.
He's actually here. Alright, I assume all of the plants are here in Central Research, in this big room. Though I did not find all the plants, because I wasn't looking for them. Let's see. Where else would we find a potted plant? Probably not in the shelter, right? But yeah, I think we're mostly going to be doing side stuff for this episode. Where does this lead? This is just the dark, disquiet room, right? Yeah. I don't know where this plant is. Also, I didn't realize it, but I guess this mold stuff here is all burnt out, so you can just walk through it without taking damage. And remember this shaft? Where I was like, oh, I guess we need an ability to get down there. Turns out you don't actually need an ability to get down here, you can just kind of... There's platforms all the way down, so I did jump down here, and there's a whole area down here that looks kind of interesting. So you can actually take the elevator, you just have to basically plug it back in when you get down here. You know, just over here there's a battery. But this whole area is infested with mold. Though, as you can see, this area in this part of it is burnt out, so you don't have to worry about being poisoned. But I like how there's just like desks here that are seemingly unaffected by all this growth and rot. What's that? Oh, it's just a computer. Well, actually that desk is affected, so it makes it even weirder that these ones aren't. I don't think there's anything in this room. This does seem to be where the mold hosts are, though, because I did spot a few of them. Also, there were just 2 guys standing down here, so I haven't been in this room, but I think there's maybe someone we can talk to? Even this, which looks like it should damage you, doesn't. I think the mold that can damage you has like a little bit of a lightning-y static effect on it, so we're good with this stuff. Let's see who's in this room.
I hate guard duty down here. This place is fucking weird.
This is nothing. The clocks? No, that's weird.
What's weird about a bunch of clocks?
Shut up! I think that's the new director.
No, tell me about the clocks. I want to hear more. Alright.
Excuse me? Are you lost?
I mean, a little bit. I don't know what's down here. Or even who this is. We haven't heard any mention of an Underhill before. Underhill, checking in. Hello, Raya. How's it going down there? Enjoying the mold so far? Settling back into life at the old FBC? I also wanted to ask you how your coffee with Emily went. She's a star on the rise, incredibly bright, extremely intuitive. But I want to hear what you thought of her. I think you two could be very good on a project together. Could learn a lot from each other. Let's get together and chat about it soon. Anyway, sorry for the interruption. I'm sure you can't think of anything besides the mold right now. You always were a woman of focus. I always admired that about you. Talk soon, Casper. So, I guess this was a problem before the hiss. This, mold-infested section of the oldest house. It's weird how she keeps, like, snapping her head back up to me. Threshold Utility Counter-Essay. Alternative perspective regarding Threshold's utility research. Dr. Darling's recently penned essay titled Redacted contains some glaring omissions that I feel I must shine a light on. Firstly, the entire premise of the essay is that the quarry threshold is beneficial to the Bureau, while the mold is actively hostile, to use his words. We cannot determine the worth of these dimensions and their life forms using bureaucratic definitions. Secondly, the mold is much more beneficial than some rock. If the Redacted creating the mold were reconfigured in their purpose, the structures they could build would rival the greatest skyscrapers. The mold's resistance to various strains of disease we've attempted to introduce could be derived into Redacted. Yes, admittedly, this application is more difficult than picking up a rock and gluing it to a wall, but I pause to wonder when the Bureau lost its eagerness for a challenge. So is she like a obsessive mycologist or something? Nobody appreciates the fungi. Mold threshold. I wonder if we're not supposed to be down here yet. Active threshold mold research. Summary. So you want to know how my mold research is getting on, Casper? Here it is. Microscopic organisms, similar in appearance to Redacted, construct the architecture of the mold. I do not understand if these Redacted are the original disseminators of the mold or are bitten by some fungal infection. The mold is the most prolific and durable organism I have ever seen. I theorize there is a mold source located somewhere on our side of the threshold, rooted here to accelerate growth in our dimension. I refer to this yet unknown source as Mold 1. The mold produces an enticing aroma to encourage human consumption of itself. It propagates in the chest cavity and quickly subsumes the entire body, seizing control of motor function. This behavior was not observed when I first arrived, which means the mold have adapted to our presence, targeting our biological imperatives as a way to spread. It is a truly ingenious little thing. A full report will be ready soon. Keep your slacks on. I guess that's why there are posters in research about not eating mold.
Do you normally barge into people's private workspaces?
She clearly doesn't know who she's talking to.
Excuse me, I'm the director?
Shouldn't you be in a safe room?
Why? Because of those hiss things the Rangers keep going on about. Haven't you people sorted that out yet? The situation down here could spell doom for the Bureau.
You mean this mold?
Correct.
I guess the mold and the hiss don't interact.
Perhaps you could help me.
Like, there's no possessed mold hosts?
Various mold strains, and the mold has made the environment far too dangerous for me to fetch them myself.
Really? Mold samples?
She doesn't even know who we are, and she's like, yeah, can you go pick up some shit for me?
And it will, whoever you are. The mold is spreading. We need to find the source before it spreads too far.
And these samples will do that?
No. Samples of 5 unique strains, when blended properly, will allow you to travel deeper into the pit, where I've pinpointed the approximate location of the source of the mold.
Okay. So what are these samples?
Is that going to be one of those difficult optional bosses I've heard about?
I've made a list of the samples I need. Here. You'll find them throughout the threshold.
I'll take a look. My name's Jessie, by the way.
I'm sure it is.
It's weird that she didn't introduce herself as Director Faden. Though I doubt we get any more respect for that than Jessie.
Have you worked at the FBC very long?
Not long enough to understand their inane methodology. They want me to solve the mold, but how is one to solve anything when the basic molecular structure of this fungus is an utter enigma?
Oh, sorry, are you asking me?
It's rhetorical. The Bureau wants to control. not comprehend.
I mean, that is their
But to answer your question,
assignment.
I'm a seasoned threshold researcher that's been brought in on a provisional basis to resolve this matter.
That's all you had to say.
It's literally the Federal Bureau of Control, so yes, controlling things is what we are out to do.
What have you learned about the mold?
Firstly, the term mold is a gross oversimplification used only to ease communication. That said, the mold itself appears to be the product of complex microorganisms. They spin the mold, building structures like minuscule cities, swiftly colonizing our dimension, and the speed of these tiny engineers relative to their size is simply staggering.
So it grows fast.
If you're not going to listen, then why did you ask?
Because I have to pick all of the dialogue options.
So the mold is coming in from... where?
I don't even know that this is going to
We
be
don't have a name for the
relevant
threshold
to us for a
dimension.
while.
The origin point has been identified, but the density of the fungus makes it impossible to enter. Even if we could, I speculate that we would only find a reality entirely subsumed by the fungus. Total decomposition.
It's weird how excited she is, right?
But it sounds like the quest she wants us to do to collect all these samples will give us mold immunity? So we can get into all those rooms that were blocked off?
What do you know about the hiss?
How could I know anything about an entity I've only just learned of? This is exactly the Bureau's problem. My work is always interrupted by these superfluous matters.
Calm down. Just keep your HRA on and I'm sure you'll be fine.
I mean, she must be somewhat
This
worried,
brief
right? If she's
thing.
wearing that thing.
I thought it was Darling's idea of a practical joke.
Not quite. Just keep your head down while I handle the hiss.
Alright, well,
I need to get going.
enjoy your time down here,
Try
mold
not to
lady.
transport any spores outside the infected areas.
Why does it have a fork sticking out of it? Do you think she, at some point, succumbed to the desire to eat it before holding off? Mold type A, fresh corpses. Mold type B, fecal matter. Mold type C, electric currents. Mold type D, on inclines? Are these hints for where I'm going to find these? Like, there's one in a bathroom, there's one on some dead bodies. Electrical circuit currents, so that would be probably, somewhere in maintenance.
Why not return when you have something important to say?
I have a feeling that we're not going to be able to get to all of these right now. But let's take a little poke around here.
Smells so sweet down here. I wonder how this mold tastes.
Jesse, no. Yeah, so there are some mold hosts in here, and as you can see, they are level 6. They are fairly tough, but all they seem to do is just walk at you, so... I mean, there are also the ones that spit somewhere. But it seems like I can breathe fine in this area. Yeah, I think these are the spitty ones. This also seems like the sort of room where I need to levitate to get around. Oh, another thing I wanted to show that I saw while I was doing the in-between episode is I actually got a close-up picture using photo mode of that distorted hiss, because now they're starting to spawn around the Bureau. So they're pretty cool looking. Just like big folds of flesh folded out of a split open body. Pink Flamingo supplement. What is that doing down here? Pink Flamingo, AI46KE. Is the KE supposed to be like a reference to Keter? Class? Background. agents noticed a transient commonly found outside the entrance of the Bureau headquarters would carry the item and loudly claim to be responsible for the lack of inclement weather. The frequency of these claims attracted the personal interest of Dr. Darling. In interviews disguised as casual conversation, the transient reported that the item gives me clouds when it's hot and sun when it's not. An event of note occurred during a heavy downpour when the vagrant was witnessed performing a ritual with the item. Dr. Darling reported a wait of redacted seconds before the rain stopped. The vagrant was seized the next day. After redacted, he was found to possess no redacted and was released. The item remains in Bureau custody under suspicion of altered status, though this has still not been proven. All known variations of identification formulas have failed to elicit a response from the item. I wonder if the Federal Bureau of Control has any amnestics to use on people. Because, I mean, that's just kind of a convenience, I think, for the SCP Foundation. Oh yeah, we have these magic drugs that can delete anyone's memory of a convenient amount of time. Okay, so I don't think we can go into this big chamber yet. So let's just pop out of here. But I thought this was a neat place to at least, poke around a little bit, and we did get a quest.
Careful in there, man.
So keep an eye out for mold. Still probably a good thing that I didn't try jumping down here when I first got to research, because I would have hella died. Not that I got hit by those mold hosts, but I think with a weaker weapon, they would have got to me before I could take them down. Alright, so where the hell is this last plant or two? I mean, they shouldn't be that hard to find, but I'm not spotting any more interact prompts. And that's usually the fastest way to find something in this game, is just look for the circle. I mean, you think about it, it's pretty fancy to have potted plants inside a bathroom. Someone's got to go in there and water those every day. But then, this whole area probably needs a lot of watering. That's the radio. Like, there's not that many places to go in this room, despite how big it is. And it's not just like sitting here in this burnt-out hallway, is it? No. Alright, well, I guess we'll go up. Maybe there's one in Darling's office. I love how even evade, which is like the most harmless seeming power, still destroys things when you use it. Like whatever you touch. Okay, we got that one. I mean, it's not in any of these big planters. They are always in individual ones. And we still can't get through here, right? Yeah, that goes into Ritual Division, which we can get to from the other side. There's one.
They say I'm the director, but what does that mean? I have no experience in leadership roles. I have no on-the-job training.
Tell the plants about your fears and worries, Jesse. Okay, now this just leads to the HRA lab.
Do you have a spare diamond?
What? No. Why?
I want to see where Blackrock prisms lie on the Mohs scale of hardness.
So I'm going to throw a diamond at it and see what happens. Okay, so I don't think that counts as central research, so we don't need to worry about that. Is it in here? Nope. Not in here. I don't remember this room. That's cool that the projector doesn't just shut off when you pick it up. Or when you throw it, apparently. They're very durable. Even though the reels came off, so I don't know what it's projecting. Okay, this is back where we started. Is that actually something there, that ledge? Oh. I really like using evade to be able to get the drop on them. So once you get into it, the combat of this game really does have a fluid kind of feel to it. That's our last plant there. Though I don't think we can do it until we kill whatever is around. It'd be nice if you guys could at least spawn in the same area. Alright, I think we got them all.
Your chlorophyll really brings out the green in your leaves. That's all of them. But I kind of wish there were more. They're good listeners.
Okay, so I think we got a mod for an ability we don't have yet. Also, we have 25 out of 24. Seize Accelerator. Yeah, so that's something we don't have yet. Whatever ability that is. Scrap that. Evade energy cost. Oh, that's an upgrade from what I'm using now. So let's use that. Scrap all the worst versions of it. Go. We're already almost full on fucking weapons mods again. Reload speed while shielded. Pierce zoom. Pierce aimed fire boost. That actually seems pretty good. Oh, we finally got a weapon armor damage increase. And it's a level 3, so that's a pretty good upgrade. Alright. So we got growth near fresh corpses, growth near toilets, grows near televisions, grows near staircases, grows near the pit. Alright, well, that sounds like it's going to be all over the bureau. Alright, so we got the plants dealt with. Now, we can actually do that Lightbox mission, but it requires us to go to Parapsychology and then Hypnosis Division. Dimensional Research, that's just the ashtray maze. I don't remember how to get to the control point. Where is the elevator? Okay, Parapsychology is this way. It's funny, I spent all this time exploring the areas, but I didn't explore this room to get to those areas. There's an elevator that goes back up to the control point. Oh, actually, that's Parapsychology there. Yeah, so we cut through here, and then we can go... Well, this is parakinesiology. This is also an area that I don't think we explored before. Oh, no. I think we have been to this room. This is the new one over here. The Astral Exhibition. I found this control point while I was exploring. So I can't remember if we've been here, if this is where we had to deal with the astral spike.
An early hypothesis was that the mindscape of the astral plane is subjective. But that was fast proven wrong. It's an actual place.
Okay, that one I remember, so we have been here. Yeah, because this is where we had to deal with the astral spike. However, this is not the astral exhibition. Or is it? I'm so lost. Remember when I said I knew where I was going? I don't know where I'm going. Okay, this is parapsychology. I remember this room. I did fight some, like, named rangers or whatever in here, the stronger ones. Extrasensory lab. Don't think we went in here before. Yeah, I don't recognize these, like, torpedo desks. Doesn't actually seem to be anything in here. Are these, like, pods to climb into? They look like pods to climb into. Also, is this not a usable tape? Sensory tank purpose. Well, that would be nice to know. Darling here, some of you were curious why I had these sensory deprivation tanks installed. I thought I'd shed some light on the subject. Maybe some of you have heard of a Dr. Yoshimi Tokui, the man behind the hugely popular guided imagery experience tapes. Apparently his tapes go beyond the normal meditative qualities of such things, but create genuine hallucinatory visions in some listeners, or so the reports say. We brought these tanks in to test Dr. Tokui's tapes for ourselves. Plus, there may be some stress-relieving uses for the staff down the road. I think we can all benefit from some time in a dark, enclosed space, don't you? If you have any more questions, feel free to stop by my office. You know where it is. Do we? Doesn't he have, like, offices everywhere in the building? Dr. Takui investigation. Official findings report regarding Dr. Yoshimi Takui. Dr. Yoshimi Takui, a Japanese citizen residing in Tokyo, has produced a series of guided imagery experience audio recordings that have gained notable popularity around the globe. Due to his unusually swift rise in fame, along with reports of vivid, redacted accompanying the use of his tapes, investigation sector staff were asked to look into Dr. Takui's background. We found no past incident with an altered occurrence, nor any evidence of involvement with an altered organization. However, agents that attended a signing event reported redacted when hearing Dr. Takui speak. We recommend that research team obtain an audio recording of Dr. Takui's voice and perform any and all relevant analysis. Based on the findings, the investigation sector will determine next steps regarding Dr. Takui, as well as his eligibility for the Prime Candidate program. Did they just, like, take everybody that has any effect and be like, hey, you could be the director? Like, what kind of special powers did Trench have? Aside from, apparently, the ability to project his ghost. Recording chair procedures. Oops. Federal Bureau of Control, before using the recording devices, please ensure the following safety measures are met. Ensure the volunteer is securely fastened in their chair. Ensure the hood is placed over the volunteer's head. This will prevent the volunteer from taking in visual stimuli during the record process, which can lower the quality of captured footage. This also prevents recording technicians from viewing the volunteer's face, which undergoes muscle spasms during recording that some consider upsetting. Check if the volunteer is comfortable. Activate the recording apparatus. After recording is complete, check volunteer cognitive ability using the provided questionnaire. Reminder: do not be alarmed if the length of recorded footage exceeds the volunteer's period of unconsciousness. Astral dilation is a known issue. Any problems arise during the process, contact your supervisor. So yeah, during one of those recordings, one of the astronauts' heads exploded, and out came a astral spike. Alright, the Hypnosis Lab is what I was looking for. Are these Hiss? Or are these regular FPC? I mean, they've got the twitch of the Hiss.
I see it. Another object of power? They're just standing there, mesmerized by it.
I mean, there's the lightbox there. So we gotta find our way in. So let's set this as our active quest now that we're actually here. Again, a little confusing because it was showing the objective on the floor above us, when really you have to go down here to get there. Okay, we got another one of these head-drawn puzzles. Find a way in the room. Do we have a head-drawn pattern that we need here? Probably that one, right? Full outline and heavy upper outline. So and that should open the door. Is this really going to be all we need to do? Open the door and just walk in? And then probably have to fight these guys after we take away their box.
Please state your name for the record. Paul Warren, Astromark, First Class. And you are aware that exposure to the astral plane can result in death, disability, personal injury, corporeal untangling, cognitive collapse, loss of ego, and partial to full dementia?
Yeah. I am.
And you acknowledge that your use of the astral conduit, aka the X-Ray Lightbox, is purely voluntary?
Yes, I do.
Perfect. Your suit is good?
Yeah.
Okay, you're all set. Open the door for Mr. Warren, please.
So this is the one they used to voluntarily go into the astral plane. Alright, what kind of challenge are we going to have to do with this thing? Oh, apparently this is C's. Use C's to complete the astral plane challenge. Okay. What is the button for C's? C's is apparently just F. Golden copy NPC variation. Do I have to, like, run up and hit F on them or something? I wish it gave you a little more context for these astral plane things instead of just use it. Figure it out how it works. Especially because I can't even just rebind that button, since it is all of the actions, not just the one. Use C's switch weapon. Like, I don't even have a context for what the ability does to be able to guess at how to use it. how you drop stuff, apparently. Like, I don't actually have any idea what I'm supposed to do with this ability. I feel like I could just use shield for whatever it wants me to do. Also, we're like directly below the board. Just trying various things that I could press F on, but every time I do, she's, you know, changes the weapon. Am I really gonna have to, like... exit out of the game? Or not exit out, but, you know, tab out. Look this up to see what this ability is. So we've got these regular unshielded enemies spawning. Okay, so it looks like when they're stunned, I can do whatever it is. But only for a second, and you have to hold it down. So that's going to be awkward to use. I wonder if it just lets me, like, possess them. Yeah, that doesn't seem super useful on these regular enemies because they die, like, immediately. So I'm thinking that the case here is that only a possessed enemy can damage the golden one. So that's not super useful, and definitely not intuitive to use. Oh, okay, they all just fell over dead, so I don't even have to fight them. And we just got a shitty health boost for completing that. Alright, well now I guess I can possess enemies sometimes.
Their brains were fried when I took over the object.
I mean, I guess that still makes sense for the Hypnosis Lab. Alright, so that's that. There was another area that I feel like we haven't been to, but maybe that was just the extrasensory lab. Where is Ritual Division? I think that's further up. Alright, well, let's go back to maintenance. Let's do Ahti's other mission. And maybe that's all we'll do for this episode. I know it's a bit of a side mission episode, but, you know, there's a lot to see and do in Control. Though apparently I didn't realize it, the main game is only like 8 hours if you just do like the story missions. So, I think most of the extra time in this game is just doing the extra stuff. Yeah, that stuff damages you. I'm just looking to see if there's a sample in here. Oh, shit. I went to the wrong place, didn't I? Yeah, I need the coolant pumps, not the converters. So coolant pumps. Because this is where the Clog was the first time we saw it. It was in the pipeworks. But now it's in the pump station, which is also next to the pipeworks. There's probably going to be enemies spawning in this tunnel, if I remember correctly. So let's switch to our side mission. I guess you're supposed to know this is the right area because you find one of Ahti's Swedish carts. Oh, there's the Clog. Water cooler procedures. Oh, also we got the Lightbox. No unique procedure needed. The object is a light box used to examine X-ray images. The image cannot be removed from the light box. The information on the image belongs to a patient named Redacted. The object allows para-utilitarians to forcefully seize an individual's redacted. The seized individual becomes redacted to the user. The effect lasts redacted. Once released, the seized redacted as a result of the psychic trauma. The object has no current binder. Background. A janitor named Redacted bound the object at St. Anne's Hospital in Redacted. Soon, the building's occupants were redacted by him. The Bureau dispatched an emergency response team to Redacted to the perpetrator and redacted the item. Fatalities numbered in the Redacted. So I guess they had to kill everybody he possessed. Nice janitor. Water cooler procedures. Simulacrum. Containment procedure. No unique procedures required. If the item's form is different than any previously reported, then make a note describing the new form. The object's true shape and appearance are unknown. It has been known to take the form of the following objects: ring of keys, lunchbox, wrench, microscope, stapler, glasses, mail tube, spoon. The item is able to adopt the physical form of items in the immediate vicinity. The item is capable of limited physical movement, repositioning itself wherever it changes form. This only occurs when it is unobserved, physically and digitally. Because of this, the transition between shapes has never been observed. Reciting Formula 114 or 132 causes the item to reveal itself by shuddering. Is it a mimic? The item was initially discovered within the Bureau itself. Whether an agent brought it inside, intentionally or otherwise, or resided here prior to the Bureau's arrival to the oldest house, is unknown. Just put a sticky note on everything in the room. This is not a mimic. Okay, the doors are locked. I thought maybe I would need to pull a switch. Oh, there's a battery slot. Gotta open this up, I think, before we can actually clear this thing out. Nope. There's another battery slot. We got a little bit of a battery puzzle here. Okay, not actually much of a puzzle if it's just 2 batteries. Ugh. So we really just flushed it into the pipes? Okay. Oh, I'm like, why am I not hitting it? Because I'm actually behind where you're supposed to be.
Goodbye, Mr. Clog. I sincerely hope we never meet again.
Oh, I'm flushing. I'm flushing. What a world. So I don't know if that thing came from a threshold or what, but problem's dealt with now. So why is... oh, never mind. I was gonna say, why is this door still locked, but obviously that's because it doesn't go anywhere. Okay, so it still looks like there's a hallway connected to this room, but there isn't. How about instead of dealing with this guy, we don't? But we can, I guess, kill some time and some folks while we wait for the elevator. I could also walk back up to the control point, but it's a little too far for me to want to walk. I think this elevator will just lead us to another control point. You can see there's also some mold on those platforms and a treasure box. Maybe that's the mold that we need from the electrical box. Yeah, I'll file that away for now. All right. So we've completed Ahti's current 2 tasks, and I somehow doubt he'll have another one for us. Also, we have to go back to Executive before we end this episode because Emily had the quest marker on her as well.
Containment sector has blown to pussy splinters.
He's still talking about pussy splinters. Alright, so I think we can't do anything there for now. Can never figure out how to get out of this room. So let's go back to the other control point and use it as a warp. Fast travel to Central Executive. Also, I want to see if my tactical response outfit came back. You know, the pre-order bonus outfit, because I didn't even realize when I started recording again after not playing this for a bunch of time that it had just switched me back to the default. And that's because apparently the photo update broke the outfit for some people, so it just disappeared, yeah. Even though I have the DLC and it's installed, you know, the little pre-order DLC, it's not in the list, so that's great. And abilities. Okay, so now that I've maxed out health, I guess I can focus on my other stuff. Maybe let's put 2 points into launch, which I keep calling lift for some reason. Oh, okay, so we couldn't actually... I tried to do this before, and I was like, I guess it doesn't work, but you can actually throw these back, you just need a skill for it. Boost our energy. Let's get that grenade ability, why not? Additional personal mod slot. Launch basic enemies when their health is low, that sounds like fun. I mean, I haven't really had a problem with the shield breaking yet, but I'm curious what the side ability for shield is. When released, the shield propels debris at nearby enemies. Okay, so that's what I hoped it would do when we initially got it. So it does look like there are side grades for these various abilities. Alright. Also, Arish does not seem to actually be here yet. At least I haven't been able to find him in this room. So, I don't know when we get to talk to him, because I assume he'll probably have some side quests too. Yep, he's nowhere to be found.
All sectors.
What can I help with?
Oh, now she doesn't have the quest marker.
Hi, Jesse.
Well, I mean, this is new, these 3 options.
This place is looking good. Arish is making real progress around here. Right? This place is a fortress. And with him taking care of operations here, I can spend more time analyzing the hiss. I've been attempting to isolate and neutralize the hiss resonance in blood samples, but no luck so far. So you can't reverse it? Not yet, but perhaps reversing it is too simple. See, if hiss resonance can rewrite human genetics, then perhaps it's a question of rewriting the hiss resonance. In theory, that could pave the way for custom human genetic alteration.
I wonder how often the phrase mad scientist is used around here.
I mean, Dr. Darling is more like a manic scientist with how cheerful he is than a mad scientist.
I visited the quarry. What's the plan for all that black rock? The Bureau has used black rock almost exclusively for containment purposes.
Now we're just trying to find something to use it for.
Instead of boxes, helmets. Instead of blast shields, knives. Knives? Yes, knives. So many combat applications.
We can stab the resonance out.
Stabbing, gouging. Sorry.
I don't get
I've
out
been
of the
trying
lab
to get Darling
much.
to explore combat applications for years. I got a little excited.
Wow, I did not expect that from her.
How is HRA production coming along? Better than expected. We've already made enough to get people out of a couple safe rooms. And they're here, alive, thanks to you.
So I guess there
They
are
never
people
would've
actually
lasted this long
safe.
If you hadn't walked in those doors.
You deserve thanks too, of course.
We got this place up and running together, Emily.
Alright, well, good to know.
I should be going.
I still don't know where Arish is.
Oh, I will.
She says he's here. I don't see him. So, for whatever reason, he is not available yet. Alright, well, we're going to call it here for episode 9 of Let's Play Control. I think we got some good side progress done, and we can probably head down to containment in the next episode. But, until then, I've been Shadefyre, and I hope you'll join me and the director next time. Take care, everyone.